Instructed Mr. Perumal to obtain a Section 27 affidavit from Mr. Adams. My question was, if the complaint was interception of the dockets, not the content of the dockets, by you I mean IDEC, must have instructed Mr. Adams to include in his Section 27 matters that do not constitute interception. And you indicated that you needed to talk to Mr. Perumal. I take it you've had a chance to and are able to shed light on how we end up with a Section 27 affidavit reading as it does, inconsistent with the complaint laid before IDEC by the Minister's office.
Commissioners, I did call Mr. Perumal during the tea break, and I give feedback as follows. The referral and request for investigation in terms of Section 27 in the letter by the Minister referred to Honorable Fadiel Adams and referred to dockets. The ID asked Mr. Perumal to contact Mr. Adams to find out if he had a 27, which he did. He called Mr. Adams to indicate that IDEC cannot assist you in the absence of a Section 27 referral. Mr. Adams said, I have dockets opened already that make out allegations. Mr. Perumal advised him that we cannot just take those dockets in the absence of a Section 27. He told him to see a legal person and look at Section 27, and if he was of a mind to then refer a matter in terms of Section 27. Accordingly, there is a 27 dated the 21st of November, signed in the Western Cape, that was compiled by Mr. Adams without IDEC, which he sent and which has the detail it has.
The complaint, the only complainant as at the 11th of November was the Office of the Minister. And that complaint concerned interception of dockets. So the complaint itself does not. Do you agree with me? That is what was communicated to you by the Minister's office on the 11th of November in terms of Annexure MK16.
I beg to differ, if I could explain.
Yes, please.
The Minister is not just referring to the dockets. The Minister says, the allegations contained therein implicate very senior members of the South African Police Service and viewed in a serious light, and case dockets were registered as per the following cases, meaning whatever allegations that implicate senior members of SAPS are in these 4 dockets referred on 310. He goes further to say, due to the nature of the allegations made by Honorable Fadiel Adams, which is deemed to be quite sensitive and which contains allegations of criminal misconduct, this office requests the investigating director to consider the same.
Okay, now let's look at the paragraph you just read, the allegations contained therein. What the reference to the therein, and I propose to you that therein is the correspondence addressed to the Minister. So the allegations contained in the correspondence from Mr. Adams to the Minister implicate very senior members of the South African Police. And the implication is that they intercepted the dockets.
I don't read it like that.
How do you read it?
I read that the allegations contained therein, in these dockets, in the dockets, implicate very senior members of the South African Police Services.
What in this communication gives you a sense that the Minister or Mr. Nkabinde has seen the contents of the dockets?
I'm not saying they saw the contents of the dockets. They referred to Mr. Adams and they say the allegations contained by Mr. Adams implicate very senior members of the South African Police Service and are viewed in a serious light, and case dockets were registered as per the following case numbers.
But if your reading of this letter is correct, then the minister's office must have seen the dockets. Otherwise, they're not in a position to express a view that the allegations are viewed in a serious light and that they are quite sensitive, what is contained therein, if it is a reference to the dockets. The minister must have seen these dockets for your reading to be correct. It must be so.
For the way I read them, Commissioner Baloyi, he refers to Adams. Adams would have made the allegations. I'm
No.
not sure in what form he made them to the minister.
No. What we know from this letter is the minister has been given correspondence by Adams. That's what that letter says. There's correspondence from Mr. Adams. You say the second paragraph and the third paragraph do not refer to that correspondence unless you're suggesting the minister must have had a telephone call with Mr. Adams, and that's why he's able to talk about these dockets, the content of these dockets. And I suspect that's not what you want to say. Because the next question would be, how do you know they had a conversation about the dockets and what's contained in the dockets? So let's read the letter sensibly. Paragraph 1 says, I attach a copy of the correspondence received from Mr. Adams. That's what it says.
Yes.
And then paragraph 2 says, the allegations contained therein implicate serious members of the South African police. I want to say to you that a sensible reading of this first paragraph and the second paragraph is the contained therein refers or must refer to the attached correspondence. That is a sensible reading. Otherwise, why does he mention that letter to you?
That is correct.
Yes. So your reading of it to say, well, when he talks about implicating senior officers and containing sensitive matter, he's referring to what is contained in the dockets. It doesn't work. It's not a sensible way of reading this letter. But more importantly and seriously, it works only if you say that the minister must have had a conversation with Mr. Adams about these dockets to know that matter contained therein in those dockets is sensitive and it implicates senior police officers. And who are those senior police officers? You agree with me? You must agree with me.
I agree with the reading of a copy of a written
Yes.
correspondence which would have set out those serious allegations as contained.
Yes.
And therefore the reference to the dockets, because he refers to the dockets.
Yes.
But that the written correspondence would have set out these serious allegations.
Yes, that's the only way it works. Thank you.
And for that, you would have to go to page 283 of the same bundle. 283.
That is the correspondence we suggested was attached to
So
the minister's
The
letter.
serious allegations implicating senior officers are contained there because
Apologies, Commissioner. MK15, please go to MK15
I am there.
and then to page 283.
I am there.
Thank you.
So that email of 1 November 2024 at 8:21, that is the correspondence addressed to the minister. And the docket numbers are there. And then allegation 2 is that I was told the dockets were intercepted. And then he says, I traveled to Johannesburg, Orlando, opened new dockets you see there. Then he implicates senior officers because he then says they interfered in the investigative process. And he was notified that Gauteng is following the same process. And the request to the minister is, I urgently and humbly ask the minister to intervene to ensure the integrity of the investigative process is maintained. So this is the request that gives rise to the referral to IDEC. And that was Advocate Sillo's point, that the referral to IDEC was about this allegations implicating senior officers, not for IDEC to go take over the dockets that were opened in Orlando and the Western Cape and investigate those underlying allegations in those dockets. So having seen this, you can now go back to the letter and respond. Sorry, having seen this, you can now go back to the letter. It's on 310 and respond to Advocate Silo's question.
I still maintain that although you have that email, this letter tells you referral and request for investigation in terms of Section 27. It does talk to copy of written correspondence to the Minister by Fadiel Adams, and therein are serious allegations. And due to the nature of these allegations, they are referring then to the allegations as he makes out in his written correspondence, which must almost invariably, it would seem, refer to the dockets. That is my reading, Commissioner. I'm not saying that it cannot be read differently. I'm saying that is my reading. And I can't take it further than that is my reading of the title, what is referred to, and what subsequently happened.
And you insist on that reading, notwithstanding the fact that it belies any logical form of interpretation, but you insist on that wording, on that interpretation.
I believe that the interpretation is logical.
Okay. Now, under which case number or inquiry number did IDEC investigate the claim of interception? That's the original claim by Mr. Adams. That is the complaint that the minister purported to refer to IDEC.
So in the communications with Mr. Adams, he was asked for his Section 27.
I'm asking under which case number or inquiry number?
It would all have been under the one inquiry under which the Section 27 came. There wasn't a separate inquiry for an interception or a separate inquiry for something else. When the 27 came in, if I may, Counsel, when the 27 came in, it was given a reference number.
Yes.
And all those matters that flow from whatever the allegations are, including in the 27, where he says in one of the paragraphs that the dockets were intercepted or the dockets were taken for reasons that are not explained. They form part of his complaint.
Yes.
All one complaint.
Yes. I'm interested in the investigation into the interception because I did not see it in the docket, what we call the Mukwele matter. I didn't see that particular investigation in the docket, and I wanted to find out whether IDEC ever pursued that complaint, that specific complaint of interception of Mr. Adams's docket, or whether it concentrated more on that part of the Section 27 referral that, as I suggest, was initiated by IDEC.
When the referral had come in, we had to find out where these dockets are. That was part of that exercise. In order to locate the dockets, to determine whether these dockets had in fact been intercepted and were no longer where they were. To that end, Counsel, what we did is we wrote, because his last reference is, I opened dockets in Gauteng. A letter was written to the Provincial Commissioner Detectives, Major General Kumalo, requesting the dockets.
Sorry to interject. Do you possibly have a date for that letter immediately at hand?
Will you please give me a moment? It should have been in the... That would have been the 6th of December.
Okay.
I speak under correction, but in all likelihood, it is the 6th. Sorry, I made a small note, 6th of December.
And did you receive a response while we are on that point? Did you receive a response, and if so, when?
General Khumalo, and sorry, this is a different
Yes.
Khumalo, not General Dumisani Khumalo. The PC for detectives indicated that he knew about these dockets, but that these dockets were not with him. He was going to tell us where to find those dockets. In the interim, he then indicated that the dockets could be with the DPCI. When we contacted the DPCI, these dockets were not with them. And in that process, one of the investigators found out that the dockets actually were with the SAPS inspectorate, more so the head of the inspectorate, General Peter Jacobs.
And when was this discovery?
All on the 6th.
All on the 6th?
All on the 6th, because we're looking for the dockets. He's saying the dockets are missing.
Do you know how he discovered that, by any chance?
I know that the investigator indicated that he received information. I don't have the detail of the information, but he received information that the docket is with the head of the inspectorate, Lieutenant General Peter Jacobs.
Going back to your team, we had quite a number of investigators there that you identified. Which particular investigator
It would
is
have
this?
been Mr. Rapesu.
Okay. We got a bit sidetracked. Remember, going back to the letter from the ministry regarding interception, I wanted to find out that the case of interception of the specific dockets listed there, where did that investigation end?
The dockets were found on that day.
Yes,
Should
but
that
you are...
not have been the end of your inquiry then?
No.
I mean, his complaint, remember his complaint is that dockets have been intercepted. That's what his emails are about.
Yes.
He's not making the allegations that you later find in the section 27 that you have accepted, you solicited. So we're still at the earlier stages where you get a complaint that dockets have been intercepted. You are telling us that you then inquired and in fact found that they are accounted for in the SAPS system.
Yes.
You get told that. Isn't that the end of his complaint? And shouldn't that have been the end of the complaint?
Commissioner Khumalo, that was one part of
I'm
Commissioner
still
Baloyi.
Commissioner Baloyi.
Sorry. He looks and smiles there the entire time. And so one invariably, I do apologize, looks at him. Please don't frown, sir.
I have to change because clearly that's a problem.
It is the one thing that gives comfort when you sit here as a witness is a smiling face. And we digress, and I apologize. It couldn't stop there because we now need to see what's in these dockets, because here's an allegation that Adams is saying there are serious allegations I am making. They are contained in these dockets, but beyond the dockets, I have an issue because these dockets are missing. He does say so in the 27. So once we determine, counsel, that the dockets are with the inspectorate, we cannot ask the inspectorate for the dockets. And I'll tell you why I say that. It's out of just normal practice.
No, just hold on your explanation.
Sorry, Commissioner Baloyi.
My question is pre the 27. We are still, the 27th is in November. Okay, now carry on. I do apologize.
Sorry, we get the section 27 on the 21st of November. That allows us to be able to look for what the allegations allude to. In order for us to have access to the dockets, police will not give IDEC dockets if IDEC does not have an investigation. On the 6th of December, we, having had the Section 27 since the 21st of November, the prosecutor, Advocate Ramsamy, is able to submit a Section 2813 application, which initiates an investigation. It is on that basis, Commissioners, that we are able to write now to the head of detectives, because ordinarily the custodians of the dockets, especially under investigation, are the detectives. We write to the head of detectives indicating that IDEC has initiated an investigation, and the investigation requires that we have access to these dockets.
Perhaps this might be the appropriate point
Sorry.
to turn to the referral affidavit itself. But I do so momentarily for purposes of the complaint of interception. That would be at your file 2, page 512. That will run till 516. If we just run ahead to page 516, you confirm that is it's signed above the name F. Adams.